we're here today to give these fine people a really good idea of how to get conversations started, because I happen to know there's a few people that don't do customer follow-up. Maybe they don't do it because they don't know what to say, right?
Maybe.
So we're going to give a few tips on how to keep a conversation going at a tabletop or an event. But these are also things that could be used for customer follow-up calls, pre-party,
Post-party.
post-party,
Follow-up. Yeah.
and even training a team. Because
Yes.
sometimes people aren't really sure about what to tell their team or how to talk to their team about Norwex products. It's really no different than how they talk to their customers. So this works all the way around.
Perfect.
See, you held the... That a girl, I already trained you. Okay. All right, so second segment is about the purse.
We're
So
talking about follow-up, and I'm going, yeah, post-party. Yeah, that's follow-up.
no shadow on my face.
Oh, sorry.
Stand here. Okay, ready? So Joe, that's a very nice handbag.
Do you like my handbag?
I do
I'm a
like
big
your
fan of it
handbag.
myself. Thank you.
So let me ask you a little question. Do you know if there's anything that might be dirtier than your toilet seat in a bathroom?
I'm pretty sure the toilet seat must be the worst thing in the bathroom. Am I not right?
So there's a few that you might want to learn a little bit more about, and you know I'm going to cover a few. Let's start with your handbag.
No way.
So your handbag, unfortunately, is about 10 times the bacterial load than your toilet seat at home. But you see
Can I put
your
it down? I wanna put it down.
straps,
I don't want to hold it.
your straps and your wallet,
Yeah.
it gets worse. So I don't even want to tell you. So you might want to just...
I'll just dispose of that.
Yeah. And actually, the bottom of your purse is even worse. So my recommendation, of course, is don't ever set your handbag on your kitchen table or your cooktop,
Of course.
right? But did you know, I bet you have some microfiber in there. You could probably just wet one of those travel Enviro cloths and make sure that you're wiping the handle and the bottom, at the very least, if you don't wipe down the whole thing. But there's more. So have you got a dog at home?
I do.
Okay, so I hate to tell you this, but your doggy kibble dish, compared to a toilet seat that has about 250 bacteria per inch, do you want to
Is
take
it worse?
It's much worse.
Is
It's
it?
about 2,100.
Oh my gosh. That's like, what, 10
10
times?
times,
Oh.
okay? I hate to say this, but how far are you from your smartphone at any time of the day?
Like a millimeter?
Yeah. So unfortunately, if we look at that average on the
don't
toilet
wanna know.
seat, okay, it's 220, 250. The average phone, 1,500. That's 1,500.
Oh gosh.
And I hate to even do this to you, but clean laundry. I know everybody's surprised to find that clean laundry carries quite a bacterial load. And here's why. The washing machine stays warm and wet. What have you learned being around me
bacteria.
about warm and wet is the perfect environment for bacteria? So unfortunately, our washing machines breed a lot of bacteria, and clean laundry can actually put contaminants in our hands. So even folding and putting away clean laundry, we should
Wash our hands.
wash our hands. So those are
Wow.
just a couple to think about. So consultants, again, you're going to want to use some of these fun tips and ideas to have those conversations. Again, might it be at a tabletop? This is what, an event where you put up your Norwex?
Yeah, you've got your Norwex on display, you've got lots of different people walking past, and you just want to try and engage with them.
As they're
Well,
walking.
as they're
so
walking and-
for the women, they have a purse. What about a young lady who's like 18? You know, how would you stop her?
Well, maybe something like that I would focus, because she's probably likes her makeup, looking after her skin, probably isn't so much into cleaning. Maybe she hasn't got her own place yet.
Right.
So then I might go down the route of the face and body cloth and ask her maybe, how do you clean your skin?
Right.
That's always a good opener.
Okay.
Find out what they do,
Yeah.
and then you can then build on that, obviously, with the Norwex alternative.
Okay, so if they don't have a handbag and they're maybe not looking like they do much cleaning, like our men maybe, or a young lady, face cloth or something like that. But if they are walking past, what are a couple openers that we could really kind of stop them in their tracks to have that little bit of conversation? You had a few that you were talking about.
It's always just a great question. Have you heard of Norwex before? Because I can guarantee you now they'll probably say no. And then you can just very quickly say, well, we're all about creating a safe environment for you and your family, reducing those nasty toxic chemicals that are in your home. And then just ask them, like, how do you clean your bathroom? How do you clean a worktop? Ask them how they do that. They might use microfiber already. That's fine. We can upgrade with Norwex microfiber and explain the difference. Or, of course, then you could always say, well, can I ask, how do you wash your clothes? What do you use to wash your clothes with? And then, of course, we can switch to our UPP and educate them about fillers and toxins in their laundry powder.
I love that. Because, I mean, it doesn't matter, man, woman, you know, minus the children maybe, everybody has to do their laundry.
They do. Everyone
right?
does laundry.
And we know that the top rooms that people have to worry about bacterial load are where there's food, kitchen, and where there's germs that we know about, bathroom. Mm-hmm. So give me another example of someone walking past and they sort of give you the cold shoulder, like, yeah, I already clean with microfiber. What would you say maybe with something to do with a bathroom or a kitchen that might draw them back in?
I'm just pausing because I have no idea.
It would be something about...
What? Talk about the...
Yeah, so what do you clean your workbench with? Like, you call it a workbench, I call
Worktop.
it counter. Worktop.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, Joe, if people were walking by and they sort of gave you the cold shoulder a little bit, like, I already clean with microfiber, right? I've heard your spiel. How else could you draw them in? You know, we know the top cleaning areas for any household with top bacterial load would be kitchen, warm and wet and food, and the bathroom, warm and wet and lots of germs. So would you use like a kitchen or a bathroom idea to sort of stop them, to bring them back to have a little chat with you?
Yeah, maybe ask specifically how they clean. What do you use to clean the bathroom? What do you use to clean the kitchen? I mean, you had some great facts about the difference in the bacteria.
Yeah.
Which you could also go into. So do you use an all-purpose cleaner? You don't want to use an all-purpose cleaner because
right.
There's salmonella in the kitchen, there's E. coli in the bathroom.
That's right.
You need a separate cleaner for both. But actually with Norwex, you don't, because an EnviroCloth
removes it
all.
Doesn't matter what germ in what area. So that sort of brings up the whole other situation that we could be educating our customers, our team members, having conversations, doing customer follow-up calls, and that really does have to do with cleaning chemicals. So many times we have the conversation where, are you reading the label properly? Because if you're not using the product properly, cleaning properly with it, you've actually never cleaned with that product.
It's a waste of time.
It is a waste of time. Add to the fact that you're absolutely right. There's different germs in the bathroom than the kitchen. That's why there's a bathroom cleaner versus a kitchen cleaner. You wouldn't use the kitchen cleaner for the bathroom because the germs are different. And they likely will not clean that area.
Whereas microfiber will.
That's absolutely right.
Rolling.
So, Joe, a couple more germ facts, because I know you love them.
I love them. I
okay.
love them. We
Taps.
all love them. Taps.
In the bathroom and the kitchen. So, in the bathroom, 21 times the bacterial load than a toilet seat. In a kitchen, 44 times. Disgusting.
So really what we need to do then is when we go to the loo, we touch the taps, we turn our hands, we turn them on to wash our hands, is then grab like an EnviroCloth.
Or a countercloth.
And give them...
And turn the tap off with it.
Yes.
Yeah. And then we go over and what do? We dry our hands on the hand towel. Do you want to know the bacterial load in a hand towel? Here's the problem with a hand towel. Everybody uses it. And we actually, probably most of us don't clean it as often as we should. So the bacterial load on that hand towel is significant, which is why the chenille hand towel comes in so many color options and can be hung in the kitchen and the bathroom, because everyone using that same hand towel is just a breeding ground to spread sickness if there's illness in the house, but also you're passing germs from the children to the adults, which is another reason why the kids have their own pet to dry, right? So there's always a method behind the madness of the microfiber. That's actually something we should get put on
A
t-shirts.
method behind the madness.
Because all of the products that we have really are focused behind the scenes on where are those germs, where are those contaminants that people don't always think about. Because, you know, you might put out the good towels when someone comes to visit or comes over for a holiday, and, you know, you're gonna take care in replacing that towel. But do we do that every day with our own family? And we really should.
Even with a chenille hand towel.
Well, with our chenille hand towel, we have the back lock, and that's why it's such a really ingenious towel to have around, because we know people don't wash their hand towels as often as they should, or our regular microfiber towels are great as well. The reason that we have that back lock in those products is because people typically do not wash them as often as they should. So that silver agent really does help keep our hands a little bit cleaner, and everybody's using it. So it's just a good option.
Definitely.
Perfect.
Did she hold it for long enough?
Okay, we'll talk about the, we don't have to talk about that one, but there's a good one that's, we'll talk about mattress after. I'm just gonna get that. Okay. Okay. So Joe, actually one of the easiest ways to keep people healthy has nothing to do with Norwex. It has to do with washing your hands properly. So actually any disease specialist will say washing with warm water and soap and doing that 20 seconds or singing happy birthday, right? That is probably the single thing that will keep people healthy. So after we wash our hands, what do? We dry
them.
So what we know is people don't wash their hand towels or towels as often as they should. So a couple quick solutions. Countercloths. Countercloths in the bathroom so that you're using them sort of like someone might use a pull paper towel in a public washroom. They're washing their hands and they're grabbing that countercloth to turn the faucet or the tap off because the tap is dirty. And now we dry our hands, and that is sort of like our single use. But this is actually where the chenille hand towel design came in. The chenille hand towel has our back lock, that silver agent. And again, we know that people don't often think about everyone uses the hand towel and not enough washing happens. So having that back lock and that beautiful chenille hand towel with all the different colors really does well for matching in the kitchen, the bathroom, or wherever else you want to hang it. I know teachers that use it in their classrooms. So again, hand washing, number one thing people can do to really stay healthy and provide a proactive kind of approach to health. Simple, wash your hands, 20 seconds soap and water, dry them well.
Yeah.
Then we have, well, we have the, I think we have the
Bed bug.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to talk about any of that, but I'm going to ask you if you sleep alone. So Joe, do you sleep alone?
Sorry, I was rubbing my nose then. Should we start again? Okay.
So Joe, I'm not sure you're aware of this, but even when your husband isn't there, you're not sleeping alone.
Really? Who am I sleeping with?
Well, let me tell you this. When I educate about what lives in mattresses and pillows, most people go home and sleep in their bathtub.
In their bathtub?
Yes.
Is that what I'm going to do after
You might. So unfortunately, we sleep on our mattress, probably pull a cover up that's warm, wet, and dark. We shed dead skin cells, body odor, body oil. These all become a food source for something that lives in our mattresses. Might you know what that is?
Is it dust mites?
It is dust mites. Their favorite food source is our dead skin cells. So they end up multiplying and then they become their own breeding ground. But in addition to that, we bring to bed with us fungus, yeast, all types of bacteria, the chemicals we've been exposed throughout the day. So most people can have a conversation about, hey, do you sleep alone? Which might seem a little offensive at first, but it's a great way to maybe segment
is.
into
Yeah.
that mattress enzyme cleaner.
Yeah.
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 Because most people don't realize that a mattress cleaner, this enzyme mattress cleaner that Norwex provides, is an easy solution. You spray it on, you let it dry, maybe while the bedding is being washed, and you remake your bed. Now, I tend to recommend at least quarterly, so every 3 months. But in a household where there's an asthmatic or allergies or someone who snores, I do it monthly.
You're not going to harm anyone by doing it more often, are you?
That's right.
So-
You'll go through a little bit more product, but the benefit of that definitely outweighs that little bit extra cost. Now, I know, we've got autumn here, and in the spring, we've got all those additional allergens that are out there, which also leads us to protection at the front door. Did you know that you can actually protect yourself from getting all these extra contaminants brought in from outside just by those first 4 steps, right? 85%, was that right?
85% of all contaminants are brought in on the soles of our feet.
Right.
Yeah.
So of course Norwex has those options like the entry mat and of course our mop for keeping those floors clean. So the mattress is just one more conversation to have with people because we love our Safe Haven 5, but we want to be able to have the continued conversation with our customers, but we also want to be able to do extra information for training our team or the lead up to maybe an online party or an in-person party, or of course as a bit of a follow-up, right?
Yeah.
So these are all really good ideas to just sort of dig into. Now I am a science geek. Not everybody likes the science like I do, but you could easily do a bit of research about
I'm not a
something.
science geek.
Right.
I was sent out of most of my science lessons at school. Didn't really pay attention. However, I can confidently talk about the things we've talked about just by reading a bit about it, watching clips like this,
Yeah.
and just knowing a little bit, a little bit goes a long way.
Well, a little bit gets the conversation
Exactly.
going, right?
Yeah.
And maybe you only plant the seed and someone goes home to Dr. Google, right?
Yeah.
And they look it up. I mean, that is another way that we just plant the seed. We want people to be aware of where their chemicals are so that they can either go and get more research or come back to us and ask, because that's the best thing, because Norwex has their solution. And if we get that conversation going.
And if you don't know it, go and ask. Another reason to follow up and give them a call and let
That's
them know.
right. Yeah.
So another really good opener is all about maybe how people dust their homes, because a lot of people use polish and a cloth and it's just not effective, and we want to educate them about the amazingness of our dust mitt. So I heard somewhere that just in dust alone there are 45 chemicals to be found.
Yeah.
Can you help me understand that a little bit more?
So I think what people don't necessarily realize is that the products in our home, and by products I mean your flooring, your carpet, your paint, anything you bring into your home like an electronics, a computer, a television, a game system for the kids, an appliance, all of these products off-gas, and they off-gas different types of chemicals. Additionally, we bring them in on our shoes, and so we actually can bring in quite a few different contaminants. Well, the problem with dust is composed of dead skin cells, bits of hair and debris. They can be slough off of different fibers from clothing or the upholstery on furniture, a Chesterfield. There are so many different places that contribute to the contaminants that might end up in dust. And think of dust as little tiny sponges, actually. When those chemicals are airborne from these different products in our home, dust sucks them up. It's kind of
Right.
like how our microfiber
Yeah.
works. So dust actually absorbs all those contaminants that are airborne. So people don't realize that actually dust is dangerous. It can be very dangerous. It's got a plethora of chemicals, all of which I can't pronounce, but you could look up or Google. But what people really want to know is dusting is important for good health.
Yeah.
Right? And when we talk about dusting, we've got the dust mitt. What else? What other products do we have?
Well, just to say as well, people always worry about dust with asthma and things like that.
Right.
But it's for anyone.
It's
This
for
is-
anyone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's for anyone. So other things to dust with, obviously we've got the mop with
Yeah.
the dry mop pad.
Right.
We've got the Enviro wand,
Right.
that's great for getting those hard to reach areas.
Yeah, the dust mitt or a dry Enviro cloth.
Yeah.
And so one of the healthiest things people can do, other than washing their hands, is actually dusting. You want to know something else?
I'm not sure.
Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but when dust heats up, so imagine a dusty television set.
Right.
Or a dusty under the fridge that we hate to get down and take
Or
care
a
of.
PlayStation.
Right.
Or, yeah,
The Xbox.
games console, anything
right.
like that. Yeah.
Anything that's plugged in that has dust on it that heats up, it actually makes the off-gassing of, those chemicals from that electronic into dust happen faster. So the best thing we can do, if you don't want to dust your house, I mean, how many times have you heard people say, I hate dusting? Okay, so the one place that you really need to dust
Yeah,
that
if you
will
must
make the
dust.
biggest
Yeah.
difference for your health is dusting those electronics,
Yeah.
if nothing else. Because people do not realize that when you heat dust, that happens very quickly. Those chemicals are put out there and dust absorbs it very quickly.
And let's face it, it's not hard with a dust mitt, is it?
That's exactly right.
And rolling.
All right. So, Joe, reasonably safe. Let's talk about that for a minute. So, most household cleaners are reasonably safe, right? What I can tell you is that manufacturers have to list dangerous ingredients. But what that translates into is that they don't have to list all ingredients. So you know that a lot of times that those chemicals that they're using, there's a label, they have to read it, they have to dilute the product and use the product properly, or leave the product wet on a surface for a certain amount of time. So as you've shared with many different trainings, there are two ways to clean. What are they?
So there's chemical cleaning, which is the way that you've just touched on. So that's spraying a chemical, which usually will claim to kill the bacteria. So actually what we're leaving behind when we're wiping it with a cloth is loads of dead bacteria and loads of chemical residue. I would far rather adopt the Norwex way of mechanical cleaning, because with a wet Enviro cloth, we are picking up and removing up to 99% of bacteria from a worktop. And all we're leaving behind is water residue. So if I was going to eat off one of those worktops, I think I'd go with the Norwex one.
Right. And here's the other point. Water and a cloth. You wet it, you wring it out, and you use it. If I go to use a spray cleaner, before I do that, I have to flip it over. First, I want to see what warning label, what caution, what danger might there be on the label about that product,
Yeah.
because there's chlorines and bleaches and different types of chemicals and acids in different cleaners. So I'd want to look at, number one, the warnings. Number two, how to use it. Most people don't realize that a cleaner has to be wet on a surface. It's all about contact time and length of time. That chemical has to be in contact with that germ for a significant amount of time to kill it. So now you're looking at the label for warnings, you're looking at the label for how to use it, how long to leave it wet, but you're also reading the label because most of them need to be cleaned off after they've killed the bacteria. So many people don't realize, wait, I just cleaned with this chemical, left it wet for a period of time, maybe wiped with a paper towel, that's a bad word at Norwex, and now I have to go back and with clean water, wipe that surface to remove the dead bacteria and those cleaning chemicals. So why would they do all this when you can wet a cloth
There's such an easy way.
and wring it out and it removes everything?
Yeah.
Okay, Tony.
So offering the Norwex earning opportunity is the best thing that you can do for somebody. And notice how I'm calling it the earning opportunity. Sometimes we tend to focus a lot more on maybe a savvy shopper on getting your 28% discount. But let's flip it. Let's focus on the earning opportunity. What would you love to earn this month extra for XYZ? What is it that you can't get quite yet? But if you just had some extra money, you'd be able to have it. So focus on the earning opportunity, because we have people in this business who are earning a full-time income, a great full-time income. But of course, we also have people that will earn an income that tops up the family income, but also means that it opens up so much more opportunity for them. So let's get used to flipping it. It's an earning opportunity for anyone out there to really make a difference to them and their family.
Okay, rolling.
So Joe, we often talk about our party cards, but there's also mission cards. So we're going to do a little segment here with a couple of different videos that really help us create conversations around those couple of mission cards at a time. So the first one that we have is about the microfiber and how microfiber removes everything with water when used properly, right? But the plastic straw one plays into this to have that bigger conversation. So most people don't realize that plastic is forever. What would we be able to tell them about plastic that relates to our mission, but also brings them back to our microfiber?
Well, basically our microfiber is made out of recycled plastic.
Right.
So
Some of the
taking a
EnviroCloths and the
problem,
mop.
yeah, and making it into a solution.
Right. So for plastic straws, we have a solution.
Stainless steel straws.
Right? And of course, plastic bottles, plastic water bottles. We can talk about plastic and the number of solutions that Norwex has, but even if they don't buy Norwex, simply having the conversation around plastics might make people more aware of how they can help contribute to a healthy planet. Here's my favorite quote. "It's only one straw," said 1 billion people.
Exactly. What a difference it would make to say no to that straw if 1 billion people did.
One plastic bottle,
Yeah.
said 1 billion
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
So Joe, the other thing that we can use our mission cards is really to talk about deforestation and what?
Kitchen roll.
Right. Talk to me. How do we get rid of that kitchen roll or even the use of paper napkins, for example?
Well, obviously at Norwex, we offer napkins, but we also have our countercloth napkins. We have our countercloths, our EnviroCloths, all the things that we can use to soak up spills, to clean surfaces without having to chop down trees to do it.
So these mission cards, whether you take one or two, it really gets you in the mindset to talk about our mission. Again, it's not necessarily to sell them a product. You know, we often hear, oh, I don't want to sell. I don't want to feel like I'm selling. But if we're using our mission cards more from the idea that we want to educate people and plant the seed about, oh, should I really buy this jumbo roll? You know, package of all these paper towel rolls or napkins, if we can get them thinking about that, maybe there's a difference to be made. So Joe, we talked a lot about dust and actually how dangerous dust can be because dust soaks up contaminants and chemicals often found in the home. So a healthy habit is dusting. We can do that with our dust mitt, we can do that with our dry mop, our Enviro wand. But the other thing about dust is what happens with an asthmatic or someone sensitive to allergies. It's healthy for them as well, right?
Yeah.
I think there's also a shocking statistic for cord blood of newborns. Did you know that fact? Share the fact
do,
and then
yeah.
did you know about that?
I'm not Pre-Norwex, no. So over 200 chemicals have been found in the cord blood of newborns, which just shows how our systems work, carrying chemicals around our bodies. We ingest them through our skin, we breathe them in, and we can even pass them on to a baby in our belly.
Yeah. And again, it's not like Norwex can help with necessarily, that fact. But when you're reducing the chemicals in the environment, what we do know is that in a very short time, when people start eliminating chemicals and toxins in their lives, the body adapts very quickly. So blood tests showed that in a very short time, when people stopped using cleaners with certain chemicals and toxins, that the chemicals in their blood went down. So it's not all bad news. I mean, that fact is very scary, especially for moms and new moms or moms to be. But the good news is that it's never too late, because we know with research that the moment you make better decisions, we say when you know better, you do better. But we do know by blood testing and the research that happens very quickly. The body adapts very quickly. And when you stop subjecting the body to those chemicals, that chemical load or body burden goes down in the blood.
That's to do with our endocrine system, isn't it? And how that is actually the system that balances our body.
Yeah.
So all the chemicals that are coming in are affecting that system.
Yeah.
So obviously if you eliminate them, that system then readjusts, balances, and
the human body is an amazing design. So again, we don't want to scare people with our mission facts, but what we really want them to think about is, if I know better, I can do better. If I know that I can choose a better product without a chemical, then the body burden or the chemicals that are found in the human being, that goes down very, very quickly. The body is able to filter it and get rid of it.
Yeah.
So you're already turning yourself into a healthier human.
That's good to know.
You like that part?
Yes.
All right, skincare. This is also kind of it, and again, kind of talking about the hand washing. So it's like the chemical burden. Don't forget that a lot of products that you even wash your hair with have chemicals.
And then how many more are we doing?
Like there's one more slide.
Okay, time's are running.
Oh, sorry. I've just been at it for so long now. And I've got another 3 hours tonight. I'm like,
We're brain dead.
right, my feet are killing me as well.
Oh,
I'll be fine.
suck it up.
Suck it up.
Like dust.
Yeah, but not.
So Joe, I think that a lot of people would be surprised about personal care products. What do our sort of mission facts tell us about personal care products?
Well, just that there's loads of nasty toxic chemicals in so many skincare, personal care products that are out there, and how they affect us.
Yeah, even shampoo and conditioner.
Shampoo and conditioner.
It doesn't have to be in contact with
No,
your
it
skin
doesn't
a
have to
whole
be.
long time to be absorbed by the body. And again, simply teaching people hand washing and the importance of hand washing is one thing that everybody can do to be healthier. So again, these are mission facts and these mission statements that we can use to have regular conversations with people. It's not necessarily about selling, although if they're hand washing, we want them to use,
We'll
a
go
pet
down
to
that route.
dry,
Yeah.
a pet to dry for the kids, or maybe a chenille hand towel for its own reasons. But really the mission cards allow us to open the conversation without feeling like we're selling and just have education opportunities with people. Mm-hmm. Okay, one more, I promise. That's it. That's the last one.
Okay.
So it's really just like, hey, not only do they have toxic chemicals in the cleaners, but do yourself a favor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shall I say that one?
Yeah.
So it's really interesting when you look at maybe a non-Norwex person's house and you look under their sink where we tend to keep all of our cleaning products. Mm-hmm. And it's shocking to know that most households have over 65 toxic chemicals in their home, just in the cleaners that they bring in.
Correct. Yep. And again, we have another little segment about dust and how it can be dangerous, but those different chemicals would be shocking for most people that it's found in your household where your babies are, your your children, your
it's in the
pets.
dust.
Yep, absolutely. And then of course, one simple way within the first 4 steps of somebody coming into your house, what's a simple way to remain a little bit healthier in your own home?
Use a Norwex doormat.
Right. Almost
Wipe
any
your feet.
doormat. But of
Well,
course,
yes.
we want them to buy our doormat. But if they knew that they would reduce by 85% the contaminants coming from outside the home
You would have a doormat.
Right. And again, we just want to talk about simple solutions, not necessarily Norwex solutions, because the mission cards are to educate and start the conversations and maybe build that trust that we want those customers to have with us, to come back to us when they're looking for the solution.